Over the weekend, Representative Kera Birkeland abruptly resigned from the Utah legislature just weeks after she had been reelected to another term. She said that her reasoning were increased demands both professionally and from her family. She'd just been hired for a new job in Montana, and that her mother had become ill and she needed more time to take care of her. It's really important to understand the timeline on how this decision went down. She says that she learned of her mother's illness in April, and then she was hired by the Montana Grain Growers Association for a policy role in July. And knowing all that, there is a legitimate question about why she stayed in the race, even though she knew that there was a distinct possibility that she would not take the seat for another term in the legislature. Well, simply put, when all of this went down, she had already won the Republican Party nomination, and it was too late to replace her on the ballot. Utah law only allows for replacing candidates in very specific circumstances. If they die, if they have to resign because of a sickness or a disability, if they're disqualified for some reason, or if they resign to run for president or vice president. None of those applied to her, so she stayed on the ballot. She ran for re-election. She won. Now she's stepping down, and about 50 Republican delegates will get to pick her replacement for the next 2 years. This happened just 2 years ago. In 2022, State Representative Joel Ferry had already won the Republican nomination in House District 1 when he was selected by Governor Spencer Cox to become the new head of the Department of Natural Resources. After he was confirmed to that role as part of Governor Cox's cabinet, he resigned his seat in the legislature, but he stayed on the ballot because it was too late to replace him with another candidate. Utah Democrats asked the Lieutenant Governor's office to disqualify Perry from the ballot because you cannot serve in two branches of government in the same time. You can't be a part of the governor's cabinet and the legislature at the same time. And so even if he won, they argued, he would be ineligible to take office. The Lieutenant Governor declined to do that. The Democrats went to court. Those efforts failed, and Ferry stayed on the ballot. He won the election, and then, as expected, resigned before ever taking the seat, leaving it up to a handful of Republican delegates to pick his replacement for 2 years. That turned out to be Representative Thomas Peterson, who just won another term. Now, these situations might seem unethical, but them's the rules.